this incredible interview with transformational coach, international speaker, and founder of a consulting agency, the RGLP Group. But to me, just an incredibly dope ass friend and human, Alechia Reese is going to change your life by simply explaining to you today how to sign a permission slip for yourself to live the life you authentically desire. And for some of us, we may be 30, 40, and we don't know what that is. And Alechia has truly discovered how to help you find that. So this episode is a must listen. Check this one out. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Stranded Phase podcast. And I am here with another incredible guest, somebody that I truly admire, that not only is she super freaking cute and beautiful, but she is going to blow y'all away today. She is a transformation coach. She's an international speaker, and she's the founder of RGLP Group. Hey. And she's been a guest on the Stranded Phase podcast. She's someone I really consider a friend.
Ditto.
Literally someone I have a ball with. You constantly inspire me. You always pour into me, and you're literally an incredible human being from the inside out. And you're the co-host with one of your girlfriends of one of my favorite podcasts called Triggered AF.
Listen.
Y'all, without further ado, my girl, Alechia Reese.
Hey, y'all. What is up?
What's up?
Listen, feeling good, feeling great.
And you came on here with this orange, too. I love it.
Listen,
Triggered colors. Orange.
I know, right?
That's like the color I can't get out of my head with you anymore. That's all I see.
It's so funny. One of my girlfriends, she was like, oh, well, what happened to the orange? And I'm like, well, it's not my favorite color. It's just the brand color. She's like, oh, well, you should wear it more often. No, thank you.
What? And then why is it the brand color?
Because it's triggering.
Orange is trigger AF.
It is very triggering.
Mm-hmm. It's a trigger color. Yeah, look, exactly. You pick the color that triggers you the most. Congrats, guys.
Exactly. Very intentional.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. So there's so much we can cover. But one of the most... Actually, there's going to be a whole lot of incredible things I'm going to say about you, but one of my favorite things about you, and I'm going to simply say it, but you guys are going to see it in about 2.5 seconds, is you are so clear, and you help people become so clear and so intentional about what they want. You've helped me do this. I've watched you help other people do this, and it is like, it's funny, this has been the theme all day with women interviews I'm doing. It's like the quicker you can get to what you want and the clearer you can get to the clearer you can articulate what you want, the faster you're going to get it. As a woman, the longer you mess around and the longer you're scared and the longer you remain fake humble, the longer it's going to take for you to get what you want. And some of us don't even know what we want. That's why we end up triggered and overwhelmed.
Listen, that's the number one reason. For me, I feel like too many of us, and I was a us, so I'm not just talking about y'all, I'm talking about myself too.
Facts.
But we sleepwalk through life. We let everybody else make our decisions. Well, my mommy said I should go to college and major in this. My daddy said that I need to do this. I got to date this type of person. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to get this type of job. I have to drive this type of car. Yo, when did you make a decision there? Everything else was I should, I could, I possibly, I maybe, When did you make a real choice? You don't get what you deserve, you get what you require. And the major issue is people don't have requirements, especially women, especially if you were born Southern. And I'm a Southern woman. So for us, it was always, no, you take care of your man, you make sure he's good, you take care of your kids, you make sure they're good, you show up at work, get you a good job, work 30 years, do all the things.
Pause. Nowhere in there was it show up for yourself.
Not one freaking place.
Yep.
And eventually I'm a curse, so we might as well get it out of the way now.
Fuck
Not
it.
one fucking place. Like nowhere in there did you say, figure out who you are, decide what brings you joy, align with what makes you smile, and then define what you want your relationships, not just your partner or who you sleeping with, but define what do you want your friendships to look like. Like I curated my friend group. It's curated as fuck. And people talk bad about things being curated. No, fuck you. I want to be super clear on what my life looks like. My friends literally will run through walls for me, and I will do the same for them. I will drive anywhere. I will show the fuck up. Oh, we having a baby? Okay, great. What do you need? Are we getting a massage here? Do we need to call the father? Like, what are we doing? Oh, we need to go show up at somebody's place? Not a problem. Whose
Pull up.
Whose car?
Pull up.
Whose car are we renting so that we can go ahead and like, what are we doing? Because we can't take our regular cars. Are we in all black, all purple? What is happening?
Will there be a mask?
Listen, there has to be a mask now because the panorama. So, we got to be safe. We have to be safe. But I think it is okay to curate your life.
It's so okay.
Like to define what it looks like, what it feels like. It's so funny. When I was coming here, my daughter was having a question. She was like, what does your dream family look like? And at first I was like, what do you mean? But then it brought me such joy that she at 11 is defining what she wants it to look like. Nobody taught me that. I just followed the rules in the beginning. I turned 15, it all went downhill from there. I just followed the rules for the beginning portion of my life. And then after 15, I just felt really, really bad about not being willing to follow the rules. And so I didn't really get free until I was getting a divorce.
And then you start to hate yourself and shame yourself.
I hated every piece and part of me. I hated every part of me, from my toes to my hair to my skin color to my name. I had renamed myself Sabrina off of that movie, like Sabrina Black or something. It was such a great movie, guys. But
you are lying. You renamed yourself?
I hated every part of me because I was not comfortable with all of the rules. And then I felt super bad about not being comfortable and not being willing to follow all the rules. And then it didn't help that I had a community of folks who
chastise you.
I mean, major. I wasn't allowed to have I can't be around certain people because Alecia's a bad influence. I had teachers telling me I wouldn't amount to much because I was making very real decisions in high school about what my life would look like.
Right.
And so it was a problem for folks who were like, who the fuck are you deciding that you're going to do A, B, C, X, Y, Z? And after 15, when I came to some very real realizations about what life really was, I was like, this does not work for me. And I'm not going to accept it because you said I should. It's a no for me, dog. It's a no. I refuse.
Oh, there's so much I love about this right now. There's this right here. And it's like, I'm hearing what you're saying and I'm thinking like, this all makes so much sense because, and then, okay, easy answer is just say what you want, right? Easy answer. However, I feel like the primary group of women I work with all around this concept, this whole entire podcast, the thing that I've been married to for 3 years is the stranded phase. And it's simple, but I feel like where women really get stuck, they still don't know. I always talk about this woman. It's this woman in her 30s, maybe early 30s, maybe late 30s, maybe late 20s. Yeah. She wakes up one day and she did all the things.
All the things she was told to
do. Husband, kid, house, 3 kids, has the job, has the career, financially stable. And it's never abrupt. She's in the kitchen doing dishes or she's sitting on the couch with the whole family. And you're like, this is what I sacrificed my whole life for?
Listen, and it's so unhappy.
And you don't even realize it because then you talk yourself out of it and you go, what am I doing? I'm supposed to be grateful.
I should be grateful.
I should be grateful for this.
Should. It's always the should. It's like you don't have permission to feel how you want to feel. Give yourself permission to say, this is how I feel. This is where I'm at in this place and space. And if and when that changes, I'm going to give myself permission to change. It's all about how you want. I don't give up. People are always like, oh, well, I've got to work hard. I've got to do this. I should. And it's like a hamster in a hamster wheel going round and round and
there's
round.
no result.
There is no result, and not one that you're truly happy with, because you can give a depressed person $2.7 million today. And they will still be super depressed tomorrow because it's not about the things. There's a spirit man in every single one of us that you can't pacify, you can't trick, you can't buy it enough. You can't give it enough events. You can't take it on enough trips for it to be okay if it's starving. you can't pay enough for your spirit man to be okay if you've ignored it. And what happens is when you're doing all the things for all the people, you are ignoring the peace and part of you that literally is what helps you to thrive. So yes, your heart gives out. So yes, you don't have peace. No, you can't sleep at night because your spirit is begging for you to just listen. Hey, this is who we are. Hey, this is why we were created. Hey, this is what purpose looks like for us in this season. But you don't do it. You ignore it. You fuck it away. You eat it away. You sleep it away. You travel it away. You do everything else except for listen to it. Sit your ass down. If you need to light you a candle or get you some medicinal medicine, do what you need to do.
I love this.
But sit down and figure out, who am I? It means you will have to get quiet. And yes, you can have a husband and still get quiet.
Facts.
Yes, you can have kids and still get quiet. Yes, you can have a girlfriend or a wife and still get quiet.
Facts.
But sit down in enough silence. You know how they say, if you have a young kid and if things get quiet, shit's going crazy?
Yes. Yes. I'll be in the middle of a conversation on the phone and I'm like, wait, it's too quiet. Cameron, where are you? I'm like, where did you go? You're in the toilet for sure. Like, or you walked out the door.
One of the two.
Yes.
And my kid actually did that. Like, I legit thought I was going to lose her because before she was 2 years old, she had left the house 3 times and was brought home by the cops twice. Y'all don't judge my motherhood. Listen. I was a married single parent at the time. I was exhausted. I was working like 40 plus hours a week. I was building a business. I was doing all the things. And this heifer just kept wanting to go outside and explore. Ma'am.
Rightfully so as a child.
Ma'am. Exactly. She was discovering.
Mm-hmm.
But as adults, we have forgotten you can still discover.
But wait. No. You cannot, because I want to marry the person that I want to stay the same. I want to hire the person and I want them to stay the same.
No.
I want to do the things with the person that I want them to stay the way that they were when I met them.
And that's not fair. That is not fair. I think a major reason as to why forever doesn't work for most people, and by most people, y'all, I'm still including me because I got a divorce.
It's me.
It's me. I'm never going to talk shit about you without saying, listen, I point at you and it's 3 whole fingers sticking back at me. Okay. It's a joint talk about each other.
It's a joint effort.
It's a joint thing here. So you expect to marry someone and them to never change. That is unfair. You expect them, and this is no disrespect to those who choose monogamous type of relationships. You expect them to never want anyone else besides you. You expect them to never emotionally connect with anyone else besides you. That is the expectation. You expect them to stay in this job for as long as they need to because you have needs, they need to be provided for, and that's just what it is. And the fact of the matter is you have to come to the understanding that people will change. The goal is as they're changing, to be so in tune with each other that you're willing to have the conversation, the open and honest conversation about what these changes look like for the both of us. Because it's no longer just me and you, it's us. So if you're changing and if you're shifting, what does that look like for us? And then am I okay with what it looks like for us?
This is so good because this is like, you're talking about something right now that has been plaguing me because we have so many age-old things, and yes, about relationships, but just like so many other things. We have so many age-old things that we live by. And like, there is a question in my core where I'm like, the audacity we have to think that people will stay the same.
The audacity.
If I expected myself to stay the same, I would hate my life.
Exactly. So literally you're telling someone you would hate you if you stay the same, but you're telling someone else, but you are not allowed to change. You are not allowed to change. And if you change, I'm gonna be mad as hell. We can't be together. It is over. I am done. It's like, no, let's have a conversation. What does this change look like? How does it affect us? Not just me. How does it affect us? And is it something that I'm okay with experiencing? If you say no, then okay, then we start to make other adjustments. But if it is, okay, I am okay with experiencing this, or if this is your choice, then this is what it means for me. And then this is then what my choice will be. Is that okay for us? But that's a different type of conversation. Those are and even still, like many times when things shift, because life it's not linear.
No.
It's crazy and
Healing, grieving, life, none of it is linear.
None of it is linear. It's all this.
Yes.
It's all this. So what happens when you do get in the valley? So I'm a runner, I'm a track star, right? That's my, listen. I'm just.
You come on, say what? Run.
Listen, so I didn't know, especially after getting a divorce, because I had stayed in the relationship for way longer than I should have.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I got to this point, and my girlfriend laughs at me all the time. She was like, if it's one thing we know Alicia will do is release. I will release a motherfucker with the quickness.
And cut.
Listen, and next scene, and scene. Where we pan to the left, the right? Are we zooming in?
Hold on, time about. This is what this reminded me of. I just got to say this real quick. I was at a Tony Robbins event. Remember the week we were going to meet up?
Yeah.
And he was like, I want your state and your energy to be so off the charts that like, he was like talking about literal energy, like jumping and being at a 10 all the time and how you can't say no. And if you really control your energy and your state, you can take anything. Nobody can mess you up. And he was like, it should be so high all the time that if your partner came up to you and was like, I think I'm not in love with you anymore. He was like, you just walk out to the street and be like, next. Like, I was like, everybody was like, that's the energy I want.
Listen, but it's so crazy. I feel like, here's the thing. There are times where people do come into your life for a season. And that's okay. I learned so much from my ex-husband, and I used to hate his ass. I ain't gonna lie. Listen. There used to be an intense rage. Yeah. Because I could not believe I had chosen so poorly. I finally, once I did a whole bunch of ugly healing, not the cute like Instagram, oh, I'm healing, I'm reading, I'm writing. Not that one. The ugly, like fighting shit, crying, spending thousands on things.
I hate my healing journey. I profusely hate it. I hate it. When I say I hate it, I'd be like, Ludmila, my healer, all the time, she'd be like, listen, you just need to give yourself some grace because you're doing stuff 99.9% of people will never do. And I'd be like to the point where I'd be like boohoo crying. And she'd be like, okay, we got to do it again. And I'm like, please don't make me go back there. I hate it here.
I hate it here.
Please don't make me think about this again. People not doing that type of healing. Real healing is ugly. It will make you question everything about yourself, everything about your choices, everything about your patterns, everything about your feelings.
And you don't want to take pictures of it. No part of you wants to take a picture of it.
None.
Like, there is no picture for real healing. Not that you want to see, at least.
If someone said we're going to go through this separation together and we're going to do this and I got you but this is what it's going to look like, I would have been like, I'm going to go the other way. I'm good. I'm actually going to stay in this relationship and I'm going to just not do that because it's a freaking mess.
It's tough. But the one thing that now I can say thank you because I learned so much from him. In that, after dealing with that experience, I first tried to numb myself, right? And I would and I did a great job of numbing myself. I had lots of fun. The person who was with me knows how much fun we had. Had a whole lot of fun in this motherfucker.
Isn't this what men do?
Listen, I was, we gonna skip that part. Just know I had a damn good time. So I numbed myself for like 2.5, 3 years.
Oh my God, that's so long.
It is, but I loved all the parts of it. Except when I had to come back into myself.
It's a long look in the mirror.
When I realized that I had made a home out of everybody else outside of me. And so when they would leave me, I would go into like anxiety attacks because I had made homes in them. And then when I had to return home to myself, it was an empty shell. The grass wasn't green because I hadn't mowed it. I hadn't watered it. The flowers were dead and dying. There was broken glass everywhere because I did all the things I could so that I would not feel. And then when I finally got tired of not feeling anything, I was like, so what does it look like to know me again? What does it look like to the way, as much energy that I have put into this numbing journey, what does it look like to actually honor the experience? to honor the intense and traumatic experiences of what being married was for me the first time. What does it look like to not feel like I got left holding a bag, which was a whole child? Like, what does that look like? And then what does it look like to say thank you for all of those experiences? Because it means the rest of my life is going to be filled with exactly what I want it to be, because I know what it looks like for me to not make a decision and to just allow things to happen. But what does it look like for me to enjoy this experience? Whether you believe in reincarnation or not, you get one time at life that you're going to remember. This one. You are a perishable item, and you are supposed to make the dash between year born and year transitioned. You are supposed to make it mean something. So what does it look like to live an intentional life, honoring and accepting the fact that everything that I have experienced up until this point, and everything you have experienced up until this point, it was meant to produce out of you what will help and be of service to not only yourself, but to someone else. Because in each one of us, we have people, we have spirits, we have energies that we are responsible for. But I cannot eat food if I have no teeth, if I have not figured out how to swallow. When babies first get here and they're trying to learn how to latch, they don't yet know how to swallow. They've taken food through their bellies. They don't know how to swallow. So if you try and give a newborn meat, you're going to kill them.
Right.
Without taking them through the process, learning how to latch, learning how to swallow milk, learning how to take, whether it's avocado or sweet potato, learning how to mush it enough so that it's small enough to go down. If you immediately jump to meat, you kill them. So if you immediately jump into who you are serving and everything else, the pressure and the weight will kill you. Not just spiritually, physically, because you cannot take it. You are not yet in position or ready to handle that level of responsibility. You're just not ready. So my experience of going through that with him, I needed that in order to carve and to get out of me what I needed to be, so that the souls who I'm supposed to be entrusted with, that I will have what I need to be able to serve myself first and them. I never would have been able to do that without that experience. I needed that. And so I'm grateful to him because, again, too, now I choose better. Not that he's bad. Not that he's bad, but I choose better for me. Because I can't say he's this terrible, awful, horrendous person. I have a child who's 50% of him. So if I hate him, then I hate a part of her. And then I teach her to hate herself because I hate him.
I feel like I'm in a really good meditation right now. I'm like, oh my God, there's so many revelations going on. Oh my God. Okay, I gotta ask you this. Okay, this is so good. So like, go ahead and follow her, chase her, stalk her, like life changer. And by the way, she's speaking at Innovative Income Summit, January 15th and 16th. I wouldn't have it any other way.
You already know I'm there.
And follow her.
With bells on.
Literally, chase her on Instagram because we didn't even touch the surface yet. This is why I love you so much. Okay, so you go down this path and you start saying, okay, this dash between the year born and the year now matters. I want to matter. But instead of running around validating myself to other people and pouring and pleasing to prove to myself that I can make an impact, I want to choose me intentfully, willfully, like mindfully, and then show up happy, peaceful, full, fulfilled, and then see how that impacts other people. What were some of the things that when you started, because I love this word permission, because I tell women all the time, give yourself a permission slip, because I swear the minute you give yourself a permission slip, you're going to realize you could not, without the permission slip, you could not conceptualize what you can do. Once you give yourself the permission slip, you start seeing shit that you're like, I did not know that I was capable. Wow. Yeah. Once you started giving yourself the permission slip to say, okay, whatever I choose is what I choose. Yeah. What were some of the things that like wildly changed that you're willing to share that like you gave yourself permission? You were like, oh, I desire this. I will now only do this. This is what matters to me. What were some of the major things?
Oh, The major thing is, so I used to betray myself by allowing people who had shown me that they did not keep their word. I would still allow them super close to me. So I would betray myself because they would literally show me that this is who they were. And I would be like, oh, that's okay, because, they can change and things can be better and this, that, and the third. And now it's different if, okay, I'm going through a situation or they're going through a situation and they say, hey, I can't show up for you right now.
Very different.
Totally different.
Right.
This was a blatant, I didn't do what I said I was going to do. I do not follow up with what I said I was going to do.
And do not apologize.
I don't apologize. I don't offer anything. And I would still allow folks super close to me. So I started choosing, and I even named my joy, right? And I started choosing, what is it exactly I want this portion of my life to look like? That was the first thing. And I wrote it down. I said, I want this portion of my life to look like friends who love me, friends who support me. I want it to look like me choosing myself first. If I'm tired, I'll say no. If my schedule is too packed, not only will I say no to additional things, but I'll take things off so that I'm not so swamped that I never have time to sit with me. I knew I wanted to be a better mom, because as much as I love my mother, she had so many issues and things growing up. She wasn't able to be the type of mother that I needed. She wasn't doing it intentionally, but it was forgiving her for me not having a childhood, because she lost her mind when I was 8. And then my dad checked out. I'm the oldest it was 3 at the time. So that meant I had to then step up and be their pseudo mother. I stopped playing with Barbies at 8. I hated her for that at one point. It was telling myself that what she experienced and what she went through, she did the best she could at the time. And because I have not gone through it or been through it and have no desire to go through that, I can't judge how she handled it. So I will have to forgive her. So in that portion of my life, it was really forgiving my mother. And sometimes you get to have a conversation and sometimes you don't. My mother was very receptive. And so we were able to have the conversation. It was opening my mouth to say what I need. Not just what I want, but what I need. That for me, when I was, and don't get me wrong, this has happened multiple times. Like, it's not just been, oh, I did it one time and again.
No,
it's great. It's healed. It's all the things. No, it was a consistent and a constant understanding that, hey, this may take some time to get over and to work through, and that's okay. It was literally figuring out how I was going to be kinder to myself. Because I would literally, I told you I hated myself. So I would call myself stupid, dumb, not creative, not smart, crazy. I know, because I am like smart as shit. But
facts.
But I did not know that. There was so much I didn't know because I never set time to actually take inventory of who I was. It was a literal taking inventory. And I started speaking to myself different. I wouldn't be like, oh, you stupid bitch. I wouldn't do that anymore.
But there's so much, simply put, there's so much power in the tongue, but everything that you're saying is like, do y'all feel the kink in your neck of her talking to you? Like, it's like, I'm like, woo, you are slapping me in the back of the head right now. Like,
it's a good slap. It's a nice little
no, it hurts.
Oh,
it feels like I slept on it for 2 days.
Oh no.
But do you know how many of us are, and then I know what women are thinking because I've been this woman before too. So I'm hearing what you're saying and I'm going, okay, almost all of us, if not many of us, are allowing people in our lives. We're not protecting our energy, that are not following through on their promises. And then we hear what you say and it's like, PYE, protect your freaking energy. Yeah. Tell those people no, get them out of your life, remove them because they're holding dead weight in empty space. And then immediately someone's hearing that and going, but that's a sibling. That's a family member. I would be a bitch if I did that.
Okay. Well, I will say I'm grateful for my father. I'm super grateful for him, but I've also decided to love him from afar. Because he, unfortunately, in this phase, he doesn't know how to care for anyone else except for himself. He doesn't know how to do it. And for me, in this season of my life, because I am coming out of a cocoon, I need people who I know care about me, who through their actions, they show me that this is not a one-sided type of thing.
Okay, but wait, hold on, because I want to say something. You just said, so when we give ourselves a permission slip, we completely put our desires and our wants and our needs first, right? Mm-hmm. And then now you're saying that you've had to deadweight your father, love him from afar, be grateful for him because he's not caring for you. I think some people heard that and heard the same thing. They heard the same thing, like, well, you're being selfish and your father's being selfish. So, and I've seen this a lot of times where when two people choose to be selfish, it becomes extremely difficult for them to be in a relationship, a partnership, or a friendship.
Mm-hmm. And so here's the thing. This is where you have to get real with yourself. I know that
for real.
I have given so much. I have given. And unfortunately, because of where he is in life currently, he couldn't fathom how to give back to me. And that's okay. I don't hate him for it. I was mad as hell, again, because you get to have your emotions. Like healing and being, zen doesn't mean like it ain't some ratchet
thoughts behind it.
I will fuck you up type of type of energy. Like that's not it. I feel that first. And I honor that feeling too. I get I allow myself to get mad as hell, to feel it as intently and as deeply. I won't make a move then.
And then self-regulate.
Yes.
Feel those feelings. Those feelings, you're not supposed to feel guilt and shame for the anger and the feeling. Yeah. It means there's more processing to do. Mm-hmm. But the anger and the feeling is normal. That's okay. Normal. It's the difference is not you going, why am I still angry about this? And this happened 2 years ago. This happened 13 years ago. Why am I still angry about my father? Yes, it means there's more processing to do, but the difference is how you self-regulate. And that's what I've learned through Ludmila is how you say,
she's awesome.
She's awesome.
Listen.
Awesome.
Love you.
Cannot love you, Ludmila. Like there's so much she's taught me, and like the age-old saying, you cannot go back to the person that broke you and expect them to fix you. So you're literally like, okay, you broke me, Dad, or whomever. You didn't show up the way that I needed you to. There's nothing I can go back to you at 65 years old and get you to do that's going to resolve anything. So every time this anger comes up, it's real.
It's real.
Validated. Mm-hmm. But now how do I self-regulate? Is that breath work? Is that meditation? Is that journaling? Is that a walk? Yeah. And who can I work with to further process this? So, or hypnosis or whatever it is that you do. So further down the line, you can release and process so that you can do what you want to do with this person, which is maybe love them from afar and appreciate them more.
Because here's the thing. I do love him.
Absolutely.
I truly do love him. And I'm so grateful because without him, again, I would not be here. And if I hate him, I hate a part of me.
Facts.
So there is no hatred there, but it is an understanding that this is what I require for people who are close in on me. This is just the requirement. I require that it is a mutually supportive, mutually beneficial, and that the way I show up for you, I'm not asking you to show up for me the same way because you are not me. So I cannot expect you to do for me the way I would do for you. I can't expect that. But what I can expect is for you to be your best self, or at least on the road to your best self, and that you show up in the ways that I know you can, that work for me. Love him, mean it, but right now he just can't do that, and that's okay.
Can we talk about this word requirement for a minute? Because I love the way you use this. We've had in-depth conversations about you're clear on what you desire and what you want. You make them requirements and you hold people around you and yourself accountable to them, which makes it where your life is completely curated. And I think I've done some of that in my personal life, but I did it by mistake. I didn't know that I was doing it, right?
That's okay. We got there.
It was, you make it real fancy. I was like, I guess I have kind of done that. And one of the things I noticed fastest was, people are always like, you don't have to you don't have to surround yourself with all these entrepreneurs. You don't have to network with everybody that's on the same page with you. You can still have your old friends and blah, 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 blah. But when I realized, one, I was doing it naturally. And two, then when I start talking with other people, and I hear that negativity and I hear that complaining and I hear that blah, blah, blah. Or I hear people come to me and they go, well, how do you deal with complaining or like negativity or negative clients? And I'm like, the relationships and the friendships that I've curated over the last year, I don't really hear that much.
I don't.
I do not. Everyone in my life is as happy, if not happier and fulfilled as me.
Yeah. And it's so funny because you hear too many times, oh, women can't be friends. I don't see how girls have friends that are girls. And I'm like, I don't know what my life would be without my girlfriends. And it's like, oh, well, women are so catty, they fight. I'm like, no, I've had friends that I lived with my college roommate I think we lived together for 7 years. We never got in an argument. And not because we were just holding our peace. No, like we had disagreements. There were things that she was like, hey, this doesn't work for me. And there were things that I was like, hey, this doesn't work for me. But it was always a conversation. It was always a conversation. And there was still a mutual level of love, respect, support there. So I knew it was never coming from a nasty or a mean or a cruel place. So it was easy. Same thing as far as like, I lived with my sister for 9 years. We would get into arguments, but never a fuck you, bitch, I hate you. Never a throwing match, that doesn't make any sense. I'm not doing that. Or, well, shouldn't she be like, well, that doesn't work for me either. But it was never the level of like, I guess, disdain that some folks have. Yes, I've curated my life because there's a way I want it to look and feel, and that is okay. I have specific requirements, but also too, if I know a person isn't able to meet that requirement, I'm okay with asking them, how does this make you feel? How does it make you feel? This is my requirement, right? You're saying that you cannot do that in this moment. How does it make you feel? Like I had a conversation with my partner. He was just like, it makes me feel like you're going to throw me away anytime I don't do something you want me to do. And so it's like, okay, well, let's discuss that. Because I'm not saying I'm going to throw you away, but I am saying that this is the bare minimum. This is where we have to be. Are you able or are you willing to meet this place, this point here?
And you have the freedom to say no.
You can absolutely say no. And it is not me throwing you away, but it is me saying that I will then have to adjust the position that you have on the field. Okay?
I love it.
I will have to adjust.
You go back to third string.
Listen, but it's
1,
being
2,
real.
3.
But that, I feel like that is, and maybe some people are like, well, that's not kind, or no, it is kind. It is being kind to
yourself.
It is absolutely. And it's allowing him to be kind to himself, because if you're constantly in a position that you are not good at, and I know very little about sports, so I'm finna fuck this whole little analogy up. Walk with me, y'all. If you are a running back trying to play a quarterback, again, I might mess this up, but to my knowledge, the quarterback, he throws the ball to the running back so they can run down the field.
Correct.
But if you are a running back in a quarterback's position, which means you're best at running, but I'm trying to get you to throw a ball, I will never put you in prime position to win. You will never feel like you've won because I have you in the wrong position.
AKA, you are not the person for me. That's something that is so valuable in coaching, or in relationship coaching, that I've had to learn from. It was like, because we are so dead set on there being a victim and a villain. Like, you are wrong and I am right, and you need to fix what is wrong so that I can be right. And it's like, no, most of the time, if not all, it is that they're not wrong. That is absolutely what they think to be right.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah. And that is okay. The problem is that you get to decide, this is not okay for me.
For me,
this does not align with me. My healer had me repeat this phrase all the time. There's nothing wrong with him. He is just not the person for you.
And that is okay.
And that helped me have so much grace. Because it's always like, why would you do this to me? How would you make a choice to hurt me this way? Baby, it's not that intentional. Let me tell you, it's not that intentional. It's literally someone being themselves.
Yep.
And then you're deciding this does not work for me. And that's okay. That is loving yourself.
That is okay. And honestly, too, it is loving them. It is
Let them be themselves.
Exactly. Why would you want to? That's like trying to force Nick Cannon to be monogamous.
Clearly not happening.
It's not going to happen. I don't care how much he love you.
He's smiling on the radio talking about he's not doing it. Like,
he finds great joy in living his life the way that works for him. It's a butter for every bread.
And affording multiple babies, no problem.
Listen, and they all living their best life. Listen, I feel like, too, a lot of times where that shame comes from is you have a multitude of people who aren't minding their fucking business. You are so busy.
Adjust mic.
You are so busy looking at and judging the decisions and choices of other people. As long as they are not bothering children, bothering people who cannot mentally make decisions for themselves, the elderly, let people do what they decide they're going to do. Mind your fucking business. It is not your business.
Y'all.
You got your own life to try and figure out. Work on yourself.
This is so damn lit. This is so lit.
Like, I don't understand that. When I see things that don't resonate with my spirit on my Instagram, I just a scroll away.
I am one scroll away from not giving a shit.
I am a scroll away from this is not aligned with me. It's not for me. Again, there's a butter for every bread.
These are the people I'm so on this with you because these are the people I butt heads with the most is when they have a political opinion or some type of opinion and they are fixated on like, but no, this is the right way to think. And I'm like, fabulous for you. And then they're like, and then I try to go the other way and they're like, no, you need to understand this. And I'm like, no, you need to not care that I don't care. Like, you need to let it go because I don't care.
It's like, okay, we have different political, decisions. We believe different things. I grew up in the church. I mean, church 7 days a week, Sunday morning, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday at 8, Wednesday at 12 and 8, Thursday at 12 and 5, Friday at 12, Saturday 8 p.m. I am dead ass when I say I went to church every single day. Now you literally, funerals, I go to church now. Weddings, that they have in church.
Might stand outside.
Well, I'm gonna go in. I love God still. I just want nothing to do with anybody's church. I don't judge people who still go to church because there is a place for it for some people. Whether it's the church, the synagogue, the mosque, whatever it is, do what works for you. I am not trying to convince you or bring you over to my side. No, none of us need church. No, that's just not the case. There are some who they love it and it loves them. Go live your best life. If you feel you are, bisexual or gay and I say I'm heterosexual, I love it. Go live your best life. Enjoy. Do what works for you. You say you want to listen to all the music that's a fuck you, bitch. Turn around, bend it over. Me and my friends, go have at it. Okay. Not for me.
Yep.
I want to listen to some, I'm a little older now. I want to listen to some, the smooth, calming music, the waves.
I wanted to make me happy.
Yeah, I wanted to make me feel good. I want to listen to some Tony Jones, affirmation music. No, it's Bay. F-Boys are tools of enlightenment.
Tony, by the way, I'm trying to get you in the innovative income. So answer your email, but go ahead.
Like, that's what I want to listen to. But if you want to do the fuck you, sis, you and your mama, okay.
Yeah.
Enjoy
your party. Go for it.
It is your light. Listen,
but I think that is the prerequisite to what you are talking about. We cannot give ourselves the permission slip to desire what we want and to freely choose all the things we want, all the things we desire, knowing that it could piss off or hurt some other people until the prerequisite is to stop judging and shaming other people for what they want and what they desire. We can't get there and we think it's this fear of letting ourselves out there and go. Yeah. No, you're still stuck judging other people. That's why you can't do it for yourself.
Exactly. You release that. If sis wants to be a sex worker and I am, waiting until marriage, I'm not, clearly. But if that's what it is, okay for the both of us.
Yes.
There is honor in both.
And we can
things.
honor our differences. And I can be very proud of you for your choices.
Live your best life, sis. Sis, madam, sir, person. If it works for you and you are not, again, my only personal prerequisite, don't harm children. Don't harm people who cannot mentally make decisions for themselves, and don't harm the elderly. Just don't harm people who cannot, you know what I'm saying? Like they cannot help themselves. Don't you harm them.
Yep.
Do no harm is not just for doctors. It needs to be for everybody. Do no harm. And doing no harm means respecting where they are and what they do, and also acknowledging where you are and understanding that there are some times that you will have to change their position in your life. And that is okay. As long as it's not done in malice. There's no malice when I decided that, okay, I'm no longer going to allow them close, or I'm no longer going to go to this place or do that thing. It wasn't done in malice.
Mm-mm.
It was done in, hey, this doesn't work. For what I say I want, I can't keep doing this. And that's okay. And that's okay.
I could talk to you for hours. You're going to be one of those 2.5 hour podcasts. So I'm going to try to wrap around the end with this. I love what you're talking about, because I've realized, I was just discussing this with Vega, was there's nothing I'm more obsessed with in my life right now. It is not money. Money's a contribution. It contributes to the freedom, but it is I'm obsessed with creating a life that I don't have to run from right now.
Oh, listen.
Obsessed. And then you just said this, and I was like, that is a part that I'm missing. You said it, and I was like, that's exactly what it is. Because when I get busy, like I have like 4 really busy days, I crave alone time. Like I'll be like, literally, I will lose sleep over the fact that like, I didn't go for a walk today. Shit, I'm 3 days in, I didn't go for a walk today. And I will feel my body craving, like, you need a 30-minute walk alone. And I'll be like, why am I so pressed about this walk? I don't even do it to lose weight. And I do it it's like a mindful, peaceful walk for me. And I do it every day. And when I'm missing it, I'm truly missing it. And I realized, I'm like, when you said that, I'm like, because that shit makes me feel so good. And it makes me feel like I have a life that I don't have to vacation from. I love that part of my life. I love it so much. I like to do it every day. I purposely make sure I schedule my first phone call of the day as a phone call that I can walk and take while I'm walking.
Yes.
On this oceanfront view. Like I want to walk this walk.
And that view is amazing.
Thank you. It is. It really is. It's worth every penny, every expensive ass penny. But it's like walking every morning, and I crave it and I miss it. And you're saying it. It's like, that is my body telling me and my soul telling me, like, you love alone time.
Listen, and there's nothing wrong with it.
I choose it over almost anything every morning now.
Listen, so my daughter's an extrovert. So she draws joy and strength from being around people.
I get it. Me too.
I am the opposite. I am a whole ass introvert.
I need to be alone.
I live my best life being alone. I mean, and when I say alone, because let me clarify, y'all. When I say alone, I mean, I need time to sit with myself, to go through my own thoughts. I used to hate driving. Now I love driving.
Oh, I always used to say that little thing on wheels is an incubator for magic.
It is. I be creating so many things because I'm alone. I get to come back into myself because I've now, no matter who my partner is, I've made a home in myself.
Your emotional home.
Like, we be living our best lives. I'd be like, ooh, girl, that was dope. Ooh, you might need to like look into this because this right here, you're starting to get frazzled. What does this look like? It allows me to I feel things so differently now, because there was this TikTok where this guy asked for women, what does sex feel like? And if you scroll through all the things, like most of the comments, it feels like somebody, you being really, really hungry, somebody bringing food and you never getting any. It feels like, it was disrespectful. It feels like somebody scratching all around every itch except for the exact spot where the itch is. Like, oh my God. It was real disrespectful. All these things about missing the mark in sex. And I'm going to bring it up and I'll bring it around to what I really mean. The reason that sex for most women is so bad is because we haven't yet discovered what makes us feel good. And then we expect to go into the situation and we expect them to be able to magically know what makes us feel good when we haven't yet figured it out ourselves, especially with heterosexual sex. That's number one. But then we do that same thing with our life. We expect to just magically, things are supposed to just happen for us. It's supposed to just work out. We're supposed to just do it without ever, figuring out, sitting with ourselves to define what feels good to me. What do I like?
I want the raise, but why?
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 You get into a job.
You think you're going to feel better. You get married because you think you're going to feel better.
And it does nothing because you have not done step one, which is you. You don't know what you're good at. You don't know what skills you have. You don't know what problems those skills solve. You have no idea the solution that people will pay for that solves the problem that your skills solve. You don't even know how it makes you feel. Because yes, you may be able to do 10 different things, but how do each of those things make you feel? I can braid hair like nobody's business. It makes me feel 1 out of 5. I freaking hate it. 1 out of 5. Do not recommend.
Ghetto. 0 out of 10.
It is the ghetto. I don't like it. I
can do it. Got the skill. Hate
excellent it. At it. But what we do is we say, okay, I'm good at this, so then this is what I should be doing. And the moment you have to use the word should, next, go back to the drawing board.
Wow.
If it's not, I'm excited. I love this. This ignites my spirit. Like, oh man, if you don't have that type of like, that kind of like when you see somebody who you've been missing and you know, like, oh, this is going to be great. Not even in a sexual way, just in like an energetic, oh, they're about to feed my spirit. Feed my soul.
I know exactly. That's how I feel about you when you show up.
Listen, that's how I feel about you too, boo. I get excited. But that's how you should feel about whatever it is that you're doing. And if you're not, you're doing yourself and the people you're doing it for or with a disservice because you don't even fucking like it. You don't like it.
Do you know when I realized I was really starting to love myself? 2 things changed and they were very simple. I realized the work was working. Life was lifing. Work. The healing was working. I knew the healing was working when 2 things happened. 1, I went from being deathly afraid of being alone to craving it. Loved being alone. I looked forward to being alone. Yeah. I was my happiest when I was alone. I craved being alone. And I was like, whoa, this used to scare me. Yeah. I used to run from it. I used to run to people to avoid being alone. And now
avoid dealing with yourself.
To avoid dealing with myself. And now 3 days of people. And I'm like, I need myself. I need to be by myself. And I need it on a weekly, if not a daily basis to maintain my sanity and be clear on I'm choosing options for me, only me, no one but me. That's how I know. 2 is, and this was like the physical. So I really think there's a multitude of layers to this, but for me, it was internal and it was external. Yeah. And the external is that it's so funny. I was just with someone yesterday and we were talking about how you can track stuff on FitnessPal. And I was like, I used to use that like years ago and I opened it and he was like, oh, you could do macros and micros and blah, blah, blah. And I opened it and it said 2013, 2014. I'd used it those years. I weigh the exact same amount I did in 2013 and 2014. I am to the pound, the exact same amount I was. What is that? Like 8 years ago, 7 years ago. And I remember from then to last year, I've always felt like I need to lose 15 pounds. I've always felt like I've always felt like I need to lose 15 pounds. If I was just 160, 162, I would be the sexiest I've ever been. And like, you could not tell me shit. And no matter what I did, I could not get the weight off. For the last 4 months, I look in the mirror and I'm like, why the hell do I need to lose 15 pounds? I love this body. I love this body. Who cares? I love this body.
Love every part of it.
Like,
I ain't gonna lose this belly. Like, y'all just wait.
So summer ready. I'll be summer ready at 175. Y'all good.
I don't even gotta lose the weight. I just need the belly. It was carved. And then I had a baby and she took my natural 6-pack. That's okay, y'all. Not bitter.
Not bitter one bit.
Not bitter 1 ounce.
But man, when you like that for me was the 2 things this year was like, I look forward to alone time and I look forward to looking in the mirror.
Oof, that's a big one.
It changed the game. And then when I realized like, nothing changed. Like nothing.
Your mindset changed.
Yes.
That's what changed. Something did change. It was your mindset.
Yes.
It was how you look at it now.
Yes.
And that's too with the crazy things that happened to us. The situation, especially if it's in the past, it didn't change. What can and will change that makes it better for you is how you look at it. How you look at it. I'm so grateful. Without me having the experience of my ex-husband, I never would have founded a nonprofit. I never would have been put on the trajectory to create a marketing and branding firm. I never would have had the ability to close down that firm, to then start RGLP Group, to now move into the space of being a transformation coach. I never would have done any of that. I never would have closed some of my largest deals that require me to work 75% less than I used to, but make quadruple what I was making had I not had that singular experience. Would I do it again? Fuck no. But it happened, okay? And I am grateful for it. Now I know better, so I do better, make better choices and decisions. I know how to choose myself first. I know how to adjust players on the field to ensure that they're all playing in their proper position. If you don't know nothing about rugby, y'all, Google rugby. If you can create a life where you are placing people in the position that they thrive in, you not only release the pressure off of them to perform in a way that they may or may not be able to, but you give yourself not just permission, but you give yourself the power to be the best coach for your life. You are the coach. You are the MVP. You are the author of your best-selling novel. Do with it whatever you desire. Make that dash between you're born and you're transitioned. Make it mean something, because you can. If you look, every time you look in the sky, the smallest plane weighs 12,500 pounds. The largest plane weighs over 300,000 pounds. If scraps of metal, titanium, aluminum can be fashioned into a plane that usually seats 100+ people on it, and it can fly through the sky anywhere from 1 hour to 29 hours, then there's nothing that is impossible. There's nothing that's impossible.
I was just talking to my girlfriend about this on another episode that will drop either before or after this, about how when you get into a certain mindset, and obviously like action creates confidence, or action creates clarity, clarity creates confidence. But she was like, you get to a certain level where whether you fail or you win, nothing can keep you from trying or believing that you can do it. And she literally made the joke of like, she lives in this building too. And she was like, I'm at a point in my life where if somebody was like, do you think you could fly across to the other building? I'd be like, give me 6 weeks. Like, I'm gonna figure it out. She was like, we might be ziplining, but we gonna get there. Like, that does not scare me one bit.
Yeah. Like literally like on The Color Purple, and people sometimes laugh at that part of the movie. But for me, it's now one of my mantras. Nothing but death can keep me from it. Nothing but death can keep me from it. When Nettie and Celie were being separated by Mr. and he was putting her out, and they literally were like, you and me, us never part. And she said, nothing but death can keep me from it. Literally, in my mind, there is nothing that I cannot imagine or fashion in my head that I cannot take from my head to my hand, because nothing but death can keep me from it. As long as I'm living, as long as I'm breathing, as long as there is air flowing through my body and oxygen being taken to every part of me, I can do whatever I decide to do. And it's not just me, that's you, that's y'all. Whatever you decide to do, it is as simple as a decision. It is a choice that whatever I see in my head, I can put in my hands, because metal, titanium, aluminum that weighs over 300,000 pounds flies in the sky. So nothing is impossible. Nothing.
And that is your new favorite transformation coach. You're welcome. Go follow my girl right now. Remind them where they can stalk you, where they can learn more about RGLP Group. I knew it. In my head, I wanted to say RL so bad. RGLP Group. Where they can learn more about you, and just, and by the way, you can meet her at Innovative Income, because this powerhouse, listen. I could listen. We could have done this for 3 hours. So go follow her now. Soak up all the game until you can catch her in person or work with her one-on-one. So tell them where they can stalk you.
Listen, everywhere. I made it easy for you. My mama knew I'd be unique, so she spelled it hella different. It is, listen, sis knew. It's Alechia Reese, Alechia Reese, everywhere, all platforms. RGLP groups, bring me to your organization so that you can bring this same type of transformation to your executives, because the body is not declared dead until the brain dies. So the executives in your organization have to leverage and use their power to inspire and empower your people to make the impact that you desire. So you can find any information that you want from that on rglpgroup.com.
Words cannot express how thankful I am that you came all the way here for us for this show.
Yes,
and I will shout your praises till the day is long. And I just cannot thank you enough.
Listen, whatever you need, I already told you, I'm there. Okay? The only thing that stopped me was the tire, but we here.
Y'all, Alechia Reese, thank you.
Bye.